man. Huh?
I made a quiz on science.
Did I make one?
No, can
Shaw.
It's like one of those surfer dudes.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I do.
Shot
it.
All right, here we go.
Shot it.
11.7
Gnarly, dude.
cube roots. Gnarly.
Are you one of those girls, Miss Rogers?
I'm on Ben. I used to serve.
I know. You told me.
Really?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
I'm
I
a
figured
Lance
that out.
Collins.
I figured that out after seeing that sticker on the back
At
of your
what
car.
age did you
Your
say?
Jeep.
Yeah, I need to take that off. Allie
Yeah.
keeps putting stuff on there. But no, I used to have a Lance Collins shortboard. It was fantastic. Allie's got. I've got a longboard right now in my garage right now, and I just got it, and it needs to be like refurbished and everything. But it's worth like about $2,000, and if I can get it to where it's sealed and cleaned up a little bit, it'll be worth even more. It's a collector's item. Allie's got one right now. I just bought her one for her birthday in February, and I'm going to teach her how to surf. I can't decide if I'm going to use the longboard that I've got in my garage because it's from like the 60s.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. See, little things.
The 60s.
Yeah, that really bothered me.
Oh, give me a break. It's a sticker, and it's the wax that goes on boards.
Okay,
and that's the only brand that they've got. Like, I had to go buy a whole bunch of it.
Still.
I mean, like, legit, when I went and got her board, I had to buy her, like, 3 different packs of that stuff. And
But I
If
didn't
they
know
had
what
any
that was
other-
at first. I just saw the name of it, and I
I
was
know,
like,
if they had any other name, it'd be great.
yeah. I wish it had a different name. Different name.
I do too. I do too.
I was just surprised that you had that in the record.
Well, I wish she wouldn't have done that, but it is what it is. All right, same as other day. Simplifying. So bright. I love it. So cube roots. Same as the other day. Simplifying.
And it doesn't make that noise.
I know. But circle groups
You put like 3 commas.
of 3 instead of 2. That's Mrs. Rogers' notes. It's not from the book. Same as other day.
I can
Simplifying. But circle groups of 3 instead of 2. So you're going to today circle groups of 3. Hence the name cube. Like when volume. Okay, for example, okay, area. Anytime you're talking about area, like the area of a room, area of a rectangle, it's always squared, like inches squared, feet squared, miles squared, stuff like that. Area is always done with squared. Volume. Anytime we talk about volume, it's, I don't know. I can't think of volume. It's not inches volume. Kilograms volume. I don't know. It's cubed.
Milligrams cubed.
There you go. It's cubed. I have a brain fart. So it's cubed. Every time you talk about volume, it's cubed. All right. So when we're doing radicals, whenever you see this, that's the radical sign. Notice that there is nothing in the little checky thing. Notice that there's nothing in the little checky thing.
You're a fun teacher.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That means it's a root of 2. In other words, you circle groups of 2. Yes, you may. All right, so whenever, that's what we've been doing, right? Up until 11.7, May of your 7th grade year, everything has always looked like this, correct?
Isn't it me right now?
Yes. So, like, for example, what does that answer? Just say it out. 2. All right. What does that mean, though?
That means that 2 goes into 4 2 times. Or 2 goes into 4 2
It's-
times.
It's something times itself.
Yeah.
2 times. So that means 2 times 2. Notice that there's only 2 2's. This right here, 16. That means 4. Y'all know that. That means 4 times 4. Correct? Okay, so when there's nothing in the checky thing, it's a root of 2. You're circling groups of 2. You're only looking for what times itself twice. Do y'all get that? However, oh yeah, you need to know this. Whatever's in the checky thing is your root.
But technically 16. Well,
Okay, now watch this. If I were to do this and put a 3, that means a root of 3. You circle groups of 3. Okay? When you see nothing in the checky thing, we're dealing with a root of 2. 2 times 2, 4 times 4, 5 times 5, 6 times 6, etc. And when we're simplifying, you circle groups of 2. Do we understand that? When we have a little 3 here, then we're looking for a number times itself 3 times. Or we're circling groups of 3. For example, there we go. Does anyone know what that is, just off the top of their head? Talia?
well, I don't know. Is it like 2 times 2 times 2?
Okay, wait. What number times itself 3 times gives you 8?
2.
2.
So I got it right.
Yep.
Yay.
Because it's 2 times 2 times 2.
Okay.
See? Let's look at the difference. See, the square root of 4. Hence the word square. The square root of 4. The cubed root of 8. So the square root means there's nothing there, or we're looking for 2. When there's nothing there, it's 2. It's just understood 2. That's why it's called the square root of 4. This is the cubed root of 8. Now, in Algebra 1, you're going to have a 4 here, a 5 here. You can have any number in the checky thing. Okay? And in fact, this lesson right here was even in the books says you don't even have to do it. They'll learn it next year anyway. But why not? Y'all are rock and rolling and all this stuff, so I think this is going to be easy to figure out. Now, here's the thing. In Algebra 1, they'll give you problems like this, but they'll have different numbers and you got to figure it out. For example, let's see. Someone besides Italia. I said someone besides Italia. You are, in fact, Italia.
Left-handed Italian.
No. So, Joseph, 3. Because 3 times 3 times 3 gives you 27. Because you did this one. I wanted someone else to have a turn. Answer hog. Okay. So, do we understand what cubed root means?
Yes.
All right, let's take it up a notch. That is the understanding of what a cubed root is. If I were to put a 4 here and a number here, you'd have to find what number times itself 4 times would give you that answer. Okay? We're not doing that today. We're just doing cube roots. So you understand the difference. Next year, y'all are gonna impress your teachers. Trust me. Going into, because I don't know if you're going into Algebra 1 next year, or if some of you would, depending on the school you go to, you may end up taking, like a pre-algebra class.
Again?
It depends on the school you go to, on what they offer. anyone, y'all should be taking Algebra 1 next year.
Everyone is?
Yeah, y'all should be. But if you, depending on the school, if you don't, it's fine. You're going to be way advanced.
I don't want to take this class.
I wouldn't. Y'all have a basic, very good knowledge of algebra, and you need to move on to Algebra 1. And by the way, that's one of the things I'm telling every class. If there's any emails or discussion that needs to be had by the school, if they're conflicting on putting you in the advanced, like in Algebra 1 next year, have them contact me. Okay? And I'm serious. I do this often when, depending on the school you go to. So let me know. I can help y'all. Okay, so let's move on.
What do you do to?
We discuss curriculum. They sometimes, coming from a private school and a Christian-based publisher, they question it, and they'll just look at they'll see your good grades, but they'll check the Iowa and they'll compare it. I'm like, that's totally different. And so if they don't give you like an entrance test, some schools will say, oh yeah, you can go right into Algebra 1. Some schools say, well, I don't know, we don't really recognize that publisher or something like that. That's when they need to contact me. Some schools will say, you know what, let's give you like an entrance test to see how you do on the math test. Y'all will pass it with flying colors. Trust me. I know, I've seen them. And then they're fine. But some schools don't have that, and I'll suggest them testing y'all just to show proof that y'all are ready. And I'll put my name up there on that. So just so y'all know, if y'all are already accepted in a school right now, then don't worry about it. But if y'all are still working on that, you don't know your classes, you need to make sure you enroll in Algebra 1.
What if you're going to public school next year?
Same thing. You need to tell them you need to be in Algebra 1. Public school will offer it for 8th graders. Okay?
I forgot that was.
So make sure that you contact me if need be. Joseph, where are you going? Okay, so let's get started so y'all don't have homework.
We're gonna miss you.
I'm going to miss y'all.
Well,
Okay.
it have to be four.
Because then we're gonna have different teachers.
Yeah, you might. I mean, I'm sure you're going to have a good one. There's a ton of wonderful teachers out there.
But you can't contact them. In public
Not always. Some teachers you can, they don't care.
school? In public school?
Yeah. Well, no, you can't in public school. Okay, let's get back to this. All right, so this one is a little bit different. Okay? This one you're definitely going to have to simplify. It's not like what we're doing here. This one is not, you know how we talked about these are perfect squares? You know what a perfect square is?
Yeah.
This would be, and it's called perfect square for a reason. Square root 2. This would be considered your perfect cubes. Okay? This is not. We're going to have to simplify. So, Joseph, how do I simplify? Boy, simplifying. What do I need to make? There you go. Come on, wake up. Factor tree. What two numbers give me 200 when multiplied? 2 times 100. What two numbers give me 100? 10 times 10. And then we have 2 times 5. 2 times 5. And yes, you can use any combination. All right, so now we write out our prime factors. Make sure you don't leave any behind, like in the military, leave no man behind. Okay, so make sure you have them all written out and you cross them out. Now, because of this 3, Tanner, you're going to have to go to the back or something because they can't see through you. All right, since the root is 3, I'm going to write, and I tell my algebra students, same thing, Algebra 1. You write down what root it is you're dealing with. You might as well get in the practice of doing this now because next year you're going to have all kinds of weird roots. So, root of 3. Therefore, we're circling groups of 3. So, Joseph, what would I be circling?
3 of the 2s.
Yep, here's 3 2s I'm circling. The 5s are now your leftovers because we're dealing with 3s. We're not circling a group of 2. So then, Joseph, how would I write this?
2 will be on the outside.
And
5 times 5 will be on the inside.
5 times 5 is on the outside. So then it's 2 times the square root of 25. Now, here's the one thing you need to remember. In this, you got to put that 3 that's in the checky thing needs to go right here. Now, for pre-algebra, and even my Algebra 1 class, my students forget this little 3. It's a common mistake. On their homework, I'll circle it. Go back and fix that. If you forget it on a test or quiz, I'm not counting it wrong. No way. If you were to do your homework at night, turn it in, and you forgot that little 3, I'd probably bring it to your attention, but I'm not counting it wrong. Now, in the real world, IXL, other schools and stuff like that, they may come down hard on you, because if you leave that out, then you're saying that that's a square root instead of a cube root. So it's kind of important. You need to get in the habit of making sure you write that down there. Do you see what I'm saying? Are there any questions? This is what you're doing today, right here. You're just simplifying like you did before, but this time you're doing it with a cube root. Let's do another.
What happens if it's not a perfect cube?
Well, the one we just did was not a perfect cube.
But what if like it is a perfect cube, but you still do that?
Okay, let's say if it was 8 and you didn't know, 2 times 4, 2 times 2. You'd write out your prime factors. It's a cube, so you would circle all 3, right? So the answer is 2.
Oh, okay.
That's a good question. She's like, how do you know if it's not a perfect cube? Well, if you're not sure, go ahead and do the factor tree, and it'll tell you as soon as you do it. Does that make sense?
What if the number's prime?
If it's
Then it's not.
like if it was the
7.
cube root of 7, then you can't simplify
So
it.
you just put.
You just leave it as that.
Okay.
There's nothing you can do for that. All right, let's do another.
Can I do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cube root of 3,000.
So simplify it.
So Joseph, do you understand every time you have to simplify, when you have to break it down, you make a factor tree, right? All right.
So 30 and 10.
30 and a 10.
Yeah. 100. 100.
I don't know, do the math. Do the math, check it.
100. 30 and 100.
Count the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's why I was like.
That's how I do it.
Yeah, that's why I said 100 after, because I didn't count the 3s at first. Okay, and then 3 and 10. 5 and 2. And then 10 and 10. 5 and 2. 5 and 2. So then it's 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 times 5 times 5.
All right. What root are we dealing with?
Cube 3 cube.
So I'm going to write root 3 so that I remember.
So you circle the 3 2s and the 3 5s, and 3 is your leftover.
Okay.
So it's 2 times 5 times the square root of 3.
Cube root.
Cubed root of 3.
All right.
which equals 10 times the cubed root of 3.
Algebra 1 right there.
This?
If y'all understand this, you've got Algebra 1. How y'all feeling about it?
Easy.
It feels normal, like not multiplication. Just adding extra symbols.
All right,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
you ready to do one?
Yes.
Then I'm setting y'all free.
Okay.
Because this is it. There's no
There's not going to be any
Twist.
numbers on the outside. Like 2 times this.
like we've been doing?
Like the cube.
Nah.
No?
Nah.
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 No. Well, even if there is, you just add it on the outside.
And multiply. There you go.
True that.
I might do. We might do another one. Okay, so Kelly, you ready?
Yep.
Aw, yeah.
That's
Oh
me.
my gosh.
Oh my god.
Well, we know we're going to have to simplify that.
I'll do it.
No, Kelly can do it. And you can do math off to the side if you need
I
to.
like these ones.
These
I
ones.
these ones.
Like these
I like.
These ones. All right, let's
I
do
like them.
these ones.
Okay, so hold on while I
Yeah, go ahead, do some math.
just
What root is this, first of all?
it's the root of 3.
There you go.
Oops, I put.
Okay,
I put boot instead of root.
I'm going to let Kelly work.
Boot of 3.
Oh, I'm thinking 25. Oh, so
Well, look, it ends in 5, so you know right now what goes into it.
5.
Okay. So we know 5 goes into it. You just need to figure out how many.
How many times?
It scares me already.
What flavor is that?
10,125.
Good. All right.
Oops.
This is gonna be a while.
Oh, that's fine. It ends in 5, so we know what goes into it.
5.
This is how I did mine. I'm that person. If it's even, I'll usually start with 2. If it ends in 0, I'll definitely do 10. If it ends in 5, I'll definitely do 5.
Why didn't you just do 25?
Wait, how do we know 25 goes in there?
Because it ends in 25.
We need
We don't know that.
Yes, it
Oh,
is.
so
It's
you
right
do
there.
25 too.
Hey, you said 5, so
I know. Error precision.
it's okay.
Okay. 2,025.
All right. You can do any way you want. What number are you doing now?
5. I'm sure
Okay.
5.
That's fine.
It is fine.
This takes forever.
You're fine.
Why is it called a tweet?
405.
All right. Now what are you doing?
5. Dang. I wonder if it just filled with 5.
You're fine. Shh. I tell you. Zip.
81.
And then here we know 9 and 9. And 3 and 3. 3 and 3. All right, so we can write out our prime factors as 3, 3, 3, 3, 5, 5, 5, and then squeeze in a little 5 there. All right, so once you have those written down, Kelly, tell me what to circle.
Okay, that's 7, 8. No, it's just cross out 5. So you want to circle the three threes. Yeah. And then on the 5 side, you want to circle the 5s.
3 of the 5s.
3 of the 5s, yeah.
So what do you have left over?
5 and 3.
All right, so what goes on the outside?
3 times 5. Radical sign. You put the root of 3 inside the check mark,
Mm-hmm.
and then 3 times 5 inside, and then it's 15 check mark. 15. I can hear you saying that.
Make sure you have your little 3 in there.
Yeah.
So it's 15 times the cube root of 15. And there's your answer. There's your answer. Any questions?
What if it's a cube root of 0?
That's confusing.
Cube root of 0 is
Then it would be
just 0.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Alright, let's see.
Cube root of 25.
Alright, real quickly. I'm going to do another example to show you what.
Can I do it?
No, I'm going to do this one. It's going to be quick. Okay. Now, this is negative. When we had, okay, do you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, when you have a negative times a negative is
Positive.
times a negative.
Negative.
So therefore, the answer is going to be negative. To be able to get a negative answer, to get a negative radicand, it's got to be a negative answer. And this is actually negative 12 as the answer. Because negative 12 times negative 12 times negative 12 gives you a negative radicand. So anytime you have a negative radicand when you're dealing with cube roots, the answer is always going to be negative.
Cool.
Can y'all remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
You sure?
Always choose negative, I guess.
Yeah, you can put a star. It's always going to be negative. If it's a cube root and it has a negative radicand, then the answer is going to be negative. Does that make sense? All right, y'all ready? You're going to do page 481. Let's see.
Numbers 1 through 2.
Numbers.
I'm completely out of it. I was thinking about something, and I completely. Wow.
34 to 39 all. And 51 to 54 all. That's 10 problems. Due Wednesday. Now, these problems right here, that's graphing. That's just on a number line. Graphing on a number line. Open and close circles. Your test is Monday.
Also, don't want my stomach's been like growling all morning.
Hold on, I've got to find how to oh, here we go. There we go.
Look at the bowl of prep.